Okay, we're on. The boys are back.
Oh, what's the highest been now? It's been what, 2 weeks?
Two, three? Well, yeah, two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we could all share. I mean, we know what you've been up to, Chava, but I guess we could all kind of share just for the audience watching what everybody's
Yeah.
been up to. But you can start first.
Well, yeah. Baby. We have a new
Yeah.
baby at home.
Yes. Nice.
So that's why we had to pause. But we're back. And it's been great. It's been I was telling Lou it's been really smooth so far. Well, at least for me, but because your mom helps a lot. But yeah, it's been a great experience having the new baby here.
Nice.
What are you all been up to?
What you been up to, bro?
Shit, man. A whole bunch of work, honestly. You know, finally closed on a huge deal that I've been working on for the past couple months, so
Nice.
that's been nice. Uh, just feeling that feeling of getting a win after so many months is nice. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. Let me think. What have I been up to? Um, Man, really just living life, man. Work, hang out with friends. Um, let's see what else. Ooh, I got a new tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wrapped up, but I don't know if you guys can you see that? I don't know if it's such a weird angle, but can you see that?
A little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
How
So I
long
got
did that take?
uh, I want to say 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you have a
yeah,
go-to studio?
bro. I have so many different artists because they're really just my friends.
Okay.
So I'll just hit like if I have an idea in mind and I'm thinking like, hey, I think this person might be a good fit, I might just hit them up for it. But yeah, that's like the more recent one. And I'm building my at home like studio because I'm trying to make music more at home.
Oh,
So
nice.
I've been bought a bunch of stuff this weekend. So yeah, once it comes in, I'm gonna start building that up. So it should be pretty
Microphone.
acoustic in here. Yeah, pretty loud.
And it,
Yeah.
you got an interface?
Yeah, I got a good
Okay.
one. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Wait, what's the
Um,
tattoo of?
What happened?
What's the tattoo of? Like, what is it?
So, have you ever heard of this movie called Fantastic Planets? Have you ever heard of that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a motif from like the blue alien, like one of the blue aliens. One of the female blue aliens, just a motif of her kind of holding like a little leaf. It's one of my favorite movies, I like the character design. I thought it'd just be perfect, you know? Yeah.
you said Fantastic Planets?
Yeah, Fantastic Planets. So it's like a 70s
Oh, okay, okay.
British animation film. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
showing me that like back when we were in Denton. It was like a
Yeah.
while ago, yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's super trippy, psychedelic. It has the cell animation, so it kind of has that cool art style,
Mhm.
where it's just sticking to that grassroots. But I just like it, man. I like the concept. I think it's just very creative and, kind of one of those cult classics ahead of its time kind of thing.
Oh, it's French.
Yeah.
It's a French movie. Wow.
Mhm.
I need to
Yeah,
watch
I think
this.
you might get a enjoyment out of it. I think you might like it just as something to check out.
Yeah, definitely. I see it's on Max. I'll
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
So did you de design it or just gave the idea to the artist?
So I just gave the idea to the artist. I just said like, hey, like do as you want with it, man. And he's pretty good with like surreal, like what's not surrealism, like realism with
Yeah.
tattoos. So like he was just like, I got you. And yeah, pretty simple. Which I think he's gonna be my I think he's gonna be my tattoo artist now. I'm gonna get a lot of stuff done with him.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch this movie.
Bro, I think you'll like it, man. It's so trippy. I don't want to spoil it, but it's
Yeah.
just such a trippy, like little film. Really good art style, cool story too. It's one of those things where it's like it's so deep pocket, you have to kind of dig for it, but like once you find it, you'll be glad that you indulged.
Have you guys watched Rebel Moon? You know what Rebel Moon is on Netflix? It's new,
A bit, but I haven't seen it yet.
Nah, I don't think
newish.
so. Mm-mm.
The story is like very recycled, but the characters, especially the first movie, the extended version is really good. It's by the guy who you guys watched 300, the
Yeah.
Spartans.
Mhm.
It's by
Yeah.
this, yeah, it's by the same director.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, it's definitely like very like the fight scenes are very like artsy. Um, this the overall story it's like whatever, but yeah, definitely like the characters and the sci-fi stuff is it's cool to watch.
Is there anybody like notable in that movie?
Not no one famous. Just like yeah, no one famous. 'Cause I like when it's nobody famous because when it's someone famous, it's like, oh, Tom Cruise playing a sci-fi character, like, And
Yeah. This
then
is
since
Tom Cruise's
it's,
newest role. He's trying to
yeah,
reinvent. He's trying something
exactly.
different. Yeah.
So when it's like no one famous, you kind of uh, uh, like you're more invested in the story, kind of like the characters, because you don't know any of them.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a good watch if you guys have time to watch that. The extended version, because they cut a lot of things in the regular version.
Yeah. Okay, I had to check that one out. Wait, what's it called?
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. Okay, I'll put that one in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, it's on Netflix.
So I wanted to ask this question. What's that movie that won Best Picture at the Oscars?
Honora?
I know, right?
Have you guys seen that movie? Because
Yeah.
there's something about that movie that just felt like because they're like, this is the independent film and $6 million budget and we just run all the awards. I was just like, I was so curious about this film because it's kind of like one of those things that just came out of nowhere and it just like swept. And I was like curious, like, have you guys like heard anything about this film or have you checked it out recently or anything about that?
Yeah, so I watched it twice, right? And the funny thing is, after the first time watching it, I spoke to Dang about it, I don't know if Chava knows Dang, but it's a
I don't
mutual.
know if he does.
Yeah.
Uh,
But he was like talking about like the deeper elements of the movie, and I was like, okay, like maybe I have to see it a second time because I missed a lot of certain things because I was just trying to make sure that it wasn't gonna be like some fairy tale thing of like some prostitute just getting this dream life like Pretty Woman like type of energy. But I thought it was okay. Like not really anything to rave about, honestly. Like I think it honestly won Best Picture because Mikey Madison can sell makeup and, you know, I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
like, yeah, because the movie that was getting, or the person that was getting the most buzz for, what's her name, for The Substance, she should
Demi
have
Moore.
won. Yeah, Demi Moore. Like, it would have made sense for her to win, but if she won, she doesn't sell more Maybelline, you know?
mm,
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good take. My take on the movie is that the first act is really good, the ending is really good, but the middle part, it's just a bunch of fluff with no real um like substance. Like there's no deep roots for the what's happening. Um, so they just meet like the couple meet and then they go into this big fluff of she's very invested in him, but they just met. So how can you like that was just I didn't like that middle part, but then the end, it has the ending is so deep that it kind of justifies how bad the second part is. But um, I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, like the last part, like the very last scene, is the whole art of the whole movie. Like that, I'm pretty sure like the director thought about that ending and then built the movie to support that ending because the ending is the whole thing. It's the whole
Mm,
reason of the movie. But you kind of have to go through the whole middle part to like live the ending. Um, but I just feel like the middle part is like the stakes are very low that you can't buy into what they're doing. But yeah, that ending is really powerful. Um, so I'm not super. Oh, hold on, your your mom's calling. Hello, hey. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Hold on, I need to lock the door.
okay, no
I'll
problem.
be back.
Yeah, the thing is like, because I remember I was hanging out with Chava and we were watching the whole thing.
Mhm.
And I just remember seeing this movie just rake up all these awards. And I was just like, I don't even remember any trailers coming out for this movie. I don't remember any press really coming out about this movie. I just see it at the Oscars sweeping. And I'm just like, what is this? It was just so like, I was just so like perplexed by it. I was just like, bro, like I even heard anything about this film.
They do build the first act really well. And then the second part, it's just a bunch of fluff.
Mhm.
Um, but really, the real piece of art is Dune. Dune 2. It's, I mean, it's one of the best movies I've ever watched in my life. And
It is
I watched it on IMAX. I went with Fallout to the IMAX movie, and it's just overwhelming. Uh, the amount
visually.
of like, yeah, the amount of art and the sound and the everything, right? So I'm pretty sure they're gonna do the whole Lord of the Rings thing where they just give all the awards for the third one, for like the last one,
Mhm.
to like salute the whole process,
And be like,
to reward the whole process of the thir three movies. Because that's what happened with Lord of the Rings. They won like little audio, like mute, like sound and editing things, like minor awards during the first and the second, and then the third movie just won the whole show. Like all the awards went to the Lord of the Rings. So I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen with Dune. Um, but yeah, Dune is an amazing movie.
yeah, I definitely agree with the say of the Lord of the Rings thing because I guess to kind of build the legend of like the Dune series.
Yeah,
But it was kind of crazy. The surprising part is Timothy Chalamet had so many good films that came out in that cycle, and
yeah.
he didn't really win anything. Which I was just like, why is he not on that stage? It's so crazy to me.
Did you guys see his speech for like I want to be the greatest of all time?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
sad boy.
yeah.
Yeah, I really respected that.
Like my thing is like, I think I think currently he is the best out now into this new generation of actors coming in because I don't know any. I mean, who was his supporting cast? Zendaya. I mean, Zendaya is, don't get me wrong, she is talented, but in the sense of like Oscar worthy level talented right now, I don't really see it. Me personally, you know. So
Yeah,
it's just like
yeah, you got Timothy, you got Jacob Elordi, which is okay.
he's just okay to
Um,
me, you know. Just
yeah.
handsome dude in Hollywood. That's just how I see it. You know what I mean?
And then you got that crazy kid from Saltcraft. What's the name?
Saltburn.
Saltcrafts? Uh
Saltburn.
that Irish kid, Barry. But I think he's like too crazy.
Wait, what's his name?
Barry
Uh
Keoghan.
yeah. I love Banshees. Like that's one of my favorite movies. If you guys haven't seen it, Banshees of Saltburn. Um This guy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing the Googles right now. Wasn't he was the guy that was with Sabrina Carpenter, right?
Was he?
I
I
think
mean,
so.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of, but I think yeah, he's this guy is gonna blow up. Like he's gonna have like crazy roles, but he's not like Leo and Brad Pitt type thing, you know. He's just
Yeah.
like really wild. He's like Gary Oldman, like where he's like super wild and like crazy roles. And then there's the guy from Top Gun. Uh, I always forget his name.
Glenn
Uh,
Powell.
yeah, Glenn Powell.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but he's gonna be like the next Tom Cruise. I think he's already been drafted to uh, substitute Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible in the future. Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, yeah. I can see him kind of be that kind of guy. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And Miles Teller kind of, but I mean, yeah, Timothée Chalamet is way better than every all those guys.
Yeah, he like outranks them. And the thing is, he has so much personality, which I love,
Yeah,
you know? Because like I think for someone in like his stature, that A-list kind of thing, they kind of tend to be more formulaic in terms of how they appear in interviews and all polished and everything. They tend to just say the right things, wear the right stuff. Like he
yeah.
just kind of
It,
does what he wants.
that's his thing because he takes himself seriously because of that speech that I want to be the greatest of all time, but at the same time he doesn't because. Did you guys see that interview with the music guy? I forgot. Narwhal?
Didn't
Oh,
Was
Narwhal.
it, did you guys see that interview?
Yeah.
Like he's just like being goofy and
Yeah, yeah.
like not serious. Like you would never see like Brad Pitt or DiCaprio do something like that. It's just like be like silly and goofy and stupid.
And bro, I think it really what it is. It's just like the times.
Yeah.
And because I feel like nowadays it's like you are like I think as like a celebrity, you kind of are allowed to show more of your personality more versus to come across of this elusive kind of who is this guy? We kind of know them, or who is this lady? We kind of know them, but they're everywhere. We see them all the time. But I think like with the whole, I guess I don't know if he's millennial or Gen Z because I know he's old. He looks young.
He's gonna be 30. He's gonna be 30.
Okay, so millennial. I think like his thing is just like he just grew up in the time where it's like he grew up on the internet.
Yeah.
He grew up like seeing things like product of like this is the time that he was raised in, and I think that just kind of influenced him into just showing more personality because you kind of see a lot of like I guess mainstays in like I guess pop culture for I guess younger groups. It's like streamers or whatever. They're so personality driven,
Yeah.
and I think like that's the thing. It's like now and then now you have like stuff like social media. It's like everyone kind of gets like you get to see and peel into everybody's livelihoods and stuff. So it's just like with him, he's just that perfect amalgamation of current generation great. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of a shift in how people are behaving because I always go back to this example of Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan, you never really knew nothing about his personal life or what he was about. He just you knew him on the court and that's it, right? And like another actor like Daniel Day-Lewis, like nobody knows anything about him. And that was like the GOAT status, like, oh, he's so mysterious and blah blah blah. But now even in politics, you need to be out there to gain trust of the masses and but it's like a double sword because if you go too far, you get canceled, right?
Do you still believe in cancel culture? I don't even think it exists anymore because I think
Yeah,
Kanye kind of proved that it doesn't really exist.
I mean, look at Kanye. Look at what Kanye's doing.
Yeah, like him, Elon,
Yeah.
like they're doing the most outlandish like shit, and like everyone's just like we can't get rid of these guys. We can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just so funny, like a time, like because before public figures, like you had to like have an image and it had to be so cut crease and you had to be so like, oh, you have to be bossed. But now it's just like balls to the wall. You could pretty much just show who you are. Like even the president is just kind of like I remember I like saw a clip of Donald Trump. He was like getting interviewed. He was getting interviewed by someone, and like the mic, the little boom mic,
Yeah, the
like
mic.
hit his face, and he like just like raised his eyebrows. He was just like, really, like you really hit my face with the boom mic. And like as a president, like you would never see a president do that because
Yeah.
presidents would just be like, ha ha, shake it off. But he was just like, for him to actually just be like, oh no, like don't mess with my face, kind of like that. It's just so like crazy. It's just so
Yeah.
crazy to just think that like now, like everybody has to have like a personality. Like everyone has to like show, or everyone kind of has like the leeway to kind of show their personality in
Yeah.
like the mainstay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And those who doesn't, people can smell it immediately.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
all the fake like politicians, you can smell it and it's like, oh, this guy's just playing a role and it's not being authentic.
Yeah. It's just that thing. It's that thing of like authentic authenticity.
Yeah.
It's so I think appreciated now. Like people just love authenticity, even if they hate the person, they just love the fact that they're authentic.
Do you guys got into the new Playboy Carti yet?
Oh, I
Yeah.
loved it.
Loved it, man. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I
From
kind of
the
have a hot
start.
take to him.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I think he is this generation's like Michael Jackson. Okay, you want me to explain my hot take?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, because I think in terms of this influence on this, like, because hip hop, we can say hip hop is kind of like the forefront of culture curation, right? And he is kind of like he's like the most hard hitting figure in hip hop. You know, like the fact that he doesn't have to do beats with nobody. He doesn't have to like get into like drama with anything. He could just drop a music video, drop a fit pic, um, just do something like random. And like that in itself just creates this essence of like, oh my God, Playboy Cardi. It's like I haven't seen that from anyone from like the mainstream audience or mainstream uh artist. I haven't seen that from a mainstream artist in such a long time. And I kind of compare it to like the idea of like Michael Jackson, just in terms of just like that influence. You know what I mean?
It's definitely been the media has been overblown by Kendrick and Drake shit. And now comes Playboy Cardi. Like everybody's just like, okay, cool, whatever. We're like the Super Bowl was like the peak Kendrick and peak Drake and whatever. And then I think people are like, okay, cool, yeah, we've had enough of this. And then Playboy Cardi comes in. And from the very first song, you can hear the like shift in not shift in culture, but like the amount of energy that he's bringing, right?
Yeah. And like my, my thing with him is he's so influential, man. Like every time he drops a project, he pretty much says, one, he's super polarizing. Like a lot of people either hate him or love him, which to me, that's like, okay, that's superstar stuff. Because if you're polarized with that aspect, you're a superstar. Two, like when he drops music, he's pretty much saying like, hey, like this is what hip hop is gonna be for the next few years, guys. I'm gonna disappear. There are gonna be some artists that maybe bite my swag a little bit, maybe imitate a lot of things, but this is what the landscape of hip hop is gonna look like for the next few years. You're welcome. And then he comes out with a new thing, and then it just kind of goes into that. And he's done that countlessly. And for him to kind of just still be fresh at this stage of his career, which is so hard to do because a lot of artists kind of nowadays kind of put out the same kind of thing within their space.
Yeah.
Good music, but nothing where it's like, whoa, I never seen them go this kind of pocket. But for him to just consistently do that, I mean, I haven't seen something like that in a while. Like,
Who is I don't know much about the like the background of the music. Like, do you guys know who's producing? Is it is it like a team or is like him directly producing the music?
I know he has his producers that he messes with. I don't know who everyone that was working on the project, but I know, he has his camp. I don't know who's all in this camp.
Yeah.
Um,
And what did you think about the collapse?
I thought a lot of them were good. Like the aspect of a Playboi Carti and a Kendrick Lamar being on a song together, it looking at it doesn't make sense, but when you hear it, it's just like it just works.
Yeah, when he says, "Look, I'm Luka Doncic," it really hurt, man. Like, oh no, he's taking Luca in as a LA guy now.
Yeah, yeah. I like to me that's just so cool because even on paper it doesn't sound like it was supposed to work, but the way he's able to kind of orchestrate it, I mean, like I said, it's kind of like one of those things. Like I don't know how, like it's kind of one of those things. I don't know how
Yeah,
he's able to kind of orchestrate because he's really good. I think he's a really good like visionary in terms of just like seeing how his music gets pushed. What about you, Lou? I've been kind of talking on a tangent here.
Not like, see, one of the main reasons why I really like the album wasn't just for the fact that, like, obviously, like, sonically for 30 songs to put something together like that, that progresses in the way that it does is very hard. So he does that very well. But the thing is with the features, like, I like the fact that the features in the album weren't like traditional features. It was almost like he was creating like this world of an album, and he's like, no, these artists are gonna be like peppered in. Like Kendrick's gonna be peppered in like one or two songs, then like Future's gonna be peppered in, even to like put Skepta on a song. I'm like, okay, like you could tell that it's very what he likes in terms of sound and in terms of flow, where it's not like what people expect from an artist like him to make, or it's like if I'm gonna use a weekend feature, I'm gonna make it the basis of a song. I'm gonna use like a Future or Kendrick. I'm gonna make it the base of a song to get that like Grammy sort of like love. It's like no, I'm just gonna do it if it sounds good. And like all 30 tracks to me were like amazing. Like from the progression of like the EDM inspired interludes, and I was like, this is really is this. I was like the whole time listening to it, and even like still what I'm listening to now, I'm like, it's just so different, and like his ability to keep doing things that are like different constantly and like keep reinventing himself as an artist is like the most amazing thing I've heard in a while. Like Life of Pablo level, like this is good.
Yeah,
he definitely balled out, like went all in and just like produced the hell out of that album.
yeah. The
Which
production
bring
on it is so good.
yeah,
Like that's what that's another thing too. Is like the creativity there is just so it's so like you're just not seeing it in rap today. Like from other artists kind of pushing that boundary of creativity. Like the opening track, it sounds like a like the craze of like I always like point to this idea of like new metal, but it's like the idea of like if new metal were to progress, I think this is kind of like the child of it, like a song like Pop Out. You
mm.
know, it's like Korn's child. It's like Slipknot's child. I'm like that's the thing. It's like the because to me it's like this is because I think the space of like rock now has kind of been the sense of like, oh, tour with your favorite band.
Yeah.
But with him, I like the aspect of him kind of keeping the aspect of rock alive and kind of incorporating hip hop that's still keeping it very true to who he is, still keeping it true to where he's from, but also the appreciation for the sound of rock, appreciation of just electronic
Just
music,
the energy, just moving
the
people.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just thinking about there's this book about I forgot the name. It's a book about describing how music works, in terms of how music moves people. And it one thing that it got stuck in my head is like artists since the beginning of time, artists have been making music for where the artist wants to play it to people. Because like classical music, all the big composers were in their head, oh, I'm gonna play it in this hall for these people sitting down. So that's like my thing, right? Like that's the energy I need to put out. And
yeah,
then the more and more music has been progressing, like Playboi Carti is probably thinking about a massive festival and like how the music is going to move the crowds, um, with that energy, right? He's not just thinking about, oh, someone like in the subway just like it's going to happen, but really the purpose is to like move like the energy to move masses live.
yeah. Okay, one thing I recommend, I don't know if both of y'all watch this. Okay, this is why I say he's the next Michael Jackson. So I recommend you guys check out his Rolling Loud performance that he had in LA. It was his most recent one.
What's it?
I know
Rolling?
about it.
Rolling Loud.
Oh yeah, Rolling Loud.
He's
Okay.
performing again tonight in Miami. So I don't know how that one's gonna be, but just in terms of just how you can see him as a live performer, I'm just like he's probably one of the greatest live performers in modern day era to
Mhm.
me. Because the way he was able to just captivate the crowd, move with the music, I was just it's just one of those things where you can't explain it. You just have to watch it, and if you watch it, you'll understand like what I'm saying. It's like wow, it's like one of those guys where it's like I think we're in the presence of something that when time passes, we're gonna be like he was one of the greats, definitely.
I'll watch it. I got it. I have it here. I'll watch it after this. Um, yeah, and that the funny because this takes me to like Luka playing his like he's playing so angry now because he's just pissed of every, and that makes me think that this is the only way his true like potential could have like uh
Been pulled out.
manifest. Yeah, because he was so comfortable, and now he's playing like lights out every night. And like sometimes you need something like that to happen to like it's like when Tiger Woods came back and won the Masters because like divorce and all this shit happened and like all these things like this happen. And probably like I'm hoping Kanye and all his craziness will like trigger him uh his best work after all this, right? So who knows? But yeah, I've been just watching Luca highlights. Like he's out of his mind right now.
Yeah, I definitely see that too, man. Like that, I think with Luca, I'm trying to figure out what was it that caused that shift because like in Dallas, it kind of seemed like yeah, almost
It,
like he was at the point where I don't know if he was at his peak or kind of getting towards his peak, but it just kind of feel like there's almost a little bit of stagnation to just
he was too comfortable. He was like untouchable. He was like, okay, I'm just gonna be here for the next 15 years, and like, if we win or we not win, it's like cool, whatever. Like, I'm still good. And but
franchise
then
player.
that put him like an automatic, immediate chip on his shoulder, like the biggest one is like, oh, you're you're trading me? What?
Yeah,
So he's now playing with the biggest chip on his shoulder, you know?
yeah. It's almost kind of remind me of. It's almost kind of remind me of like his rookie season because his rookie season he was like a beast. He was dunking on folks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's kind of remind me of that, like just kind of like that hungry. It's exciting basketball to watch. Like this him and LeBron kind of play.
Yeah, it's really because that happened to me once because I was when I was playing football in Mexico, I was named the team captain that season, and I just felt like so like inflated, and I started playing like really sloppy in one game, and because I was like, oh, whatever, like you kind of feel like you're never gonna be put on the bench or anything,
Yeah,
and the head coach, like called me, is like, go sit your ass down. And I was like, oh sh like, and I just felt like I remember like I woke up. I was like, oh shit, like I'm not like untouchable. Yes, like you still have to perform, you know?
Yeah.
yeah,
No, see, I remember when I was on the basketball team, and I remember like the day like I was supposed to be at like practice, but I was like, okay, I got too much shit to do at home, yada yada. Like I'm gonna have to miss it, like whatever. And then I call like one of the players. I'm like, hey, can you tell coach that like I'm not going to be at practice? And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, coach said you off the team. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he was you're off the team. I was just like, oh shit. I was like, all right. I was like, shit, I guess I'm not the savior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You need something like that to wake up and like come
Oh,
back and just be a beast.
mhm.
yeah.
Uh
You gotta remind folks like why. You gotta
yeah,
remind folks. You gotta remind yourself. It's like, man,
yeah, yeah,
I got that dog in me. You know.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's gonna end real soon. It was a good one.
All right,
Good comeback.
pleasure.
yeah, of
Oh,
course.
good comeback episode, boys.
Yeah, fantastic.
Definitely.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Later.